Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today in our Fizban's Treasury of Dragons coverage, we're going to look at Hoard magic items. Okay, so if you're just joining us, be sure to check out the playlist in the description here. We're putting all of our Fizban's videos in one big easy spot there, and we've got quite a few videos, and I plan to do quite a few more. So check out that playlist to see everything. And of course, if you like this video, please actually hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We'd also love to see you over on Discord at discord.gg/FryMinis. And don't forget, it's also Banderhobtober. We're doing all sorts of cool stuff celebrating Banderhobs, in addition to dragons now, I guess. So we're doing a painting contest. We're giving out free homebrew. We have some special merch, all sorts of cool stuff. Check it out at discord.gg/FryMinis. So these are special magic items that vary in power in relation to the horde of the dragon that they come from. So an older dragon, an ancient dragon, will have a theoretically more powerful weapon or item or whatever here than like a wormling. Okay, so I'm eager to take a look, so let's jump right in. Certain magic items can absorb the ambient magic of a dragon's horde. The mightier the dragon, the more powerful the item becomes when it's steeped in the dragon's horde. These items, called horde items, have 4 states, which are summarized in the horde item states table. A horde item in its slumbering state has certain base properties, and it gains additional properties when it enters the stirring, wakened, or ascendant state. Our horde item states table: slumbering, any age; stirring, young; wakened, adult; and ascendant, ancient. I really like items that can change and evolve and vary. Item like a moon blade, how you can have different properties. I think that brings a lot of flavor to any one character and that item. So I'm really eager to dive into this, because I think this could be in that similar boat of different properties, different ages. So you probably wouldn't get the same item between 2 different campaigns. Increasing power. A horde item left to steep in a dragon's horde absorbs power from the horde. Older dragons' hordes are charged with more magic and can empower horde items to higher states. Ordinarily, a horde item must steep in a dragon's horde for 1 year to reach the maximum possible state allowed by the age of the horde's dragon, as shown on the horde item states table. For example, a horde item that steeps in a young dragon's horde for 1 year enters its stirring state, while one that steeps in an ancient dragon's horde for 1 year reaches the pinnacle of its power and enters its ascendant state. If there are 1 or more horde items steeping in a dragon's horde, the dragon is aware of them. The dragon also knows what these horde items are and what state, slumbering, stirring, wakened, or ascendant, each of them is in. When a dragon is slain, the magic surrounding its horde becomes volatile. This allows a horde item to steep more quickly in the horde. A horde item steeped in a dragon's horde for 8 hours rises 1 state, from slumbering to stirring, stirring to wakened, or wakened to ascendant, as long as the steeping begins within 1 hour of the dragon's death and occurs within the dragon's lair. Steeping in this way can't raise the state of the item beyond the state associated with the dragon's age. Putting a wakened item in a slain adult dragon's horde does not make it ascendant, for example. Okay, so this ties us into the overall kind of lore approach for hordes and dragons in this book, that a horde is a magical source of power for that dragon. And it's not just a pile of gold and items, but it becomes part of the power of that dragon. And I think that's a really cool dynamic. I think it's interesting, not something I had ever thought of before. So let's keep going. Decreasing power. Just as horde items can grow in power by absorbing the ambient magic of a dragon's horde, so too can these treasures fall back into slumber. If no creature is attuned to a horde item and that item isn't in a dragon's horde, the item decreases in power by 1 state every 30 days until it is slumbering. Okay, that seems totally reasonable, and I like that if you're attuned to it, it stays active. I was starting to get a little worried that as soon as you pulled it out of the horde or whatever, it started to lose power, but this is a game and we want people to be able to use their items. Horde item quirks. Horde items often manifest strange qualities beyond their intended function, regardless of the state they're in. Roll once on the Draconic quirks table to determine the quirk of a horde item. Draconic's quirk table is a D8. 1. When resting on the ground, the item points in the direction of the last horde it steeped in. 2. The item's bearer can speak and understand Draconic. 3. The item glows softly when within 60 feet of a dragon or another Hoard item. 4. The item's bearer gains a swimming speed equal to their walking speed. 5. The item's bearer has advantage on intelligence history checks. 6. The item's bearer has advantage on charisma intimidation checks made against non-dragons. 7. The item grants its bearer resistance to the damage type of the breath weapon of the last dragon whose hoard the item steeped in. 8. The item's bearer dreams of the dragon whose hoard the item last steeped in. I love the idea of this table. I like the more cosmetic stuff, and like the advantage. That's fine. But getting a full resistance out of that is a little spicy. I feel like if a player knows that that's an option on this table and they don't get that, that's not going to feel good. Like you're always going to feel like you've got the subpar version of that. Now, if your player doesn't know, like that's fine. Or if you let them choose, like, okay, great. But a lot of people in this game like the most optimal or the most powerful mechanical option. And I think getting a free resistance is hard to beat. Hoard item descriptions. Hoard items are presented here in alphabetical order. A hoard item's rarity changes depending on the current state, as shown in each item's description. Okay, so now we're going to look at the specific Dragon Hoard items. Dragon's Wrath weapon. Weapon any kind, rarity varies, and does require attunement. This weapon is decorated with dragon's heads, claws, wings, scales, or draconic letters. When it steeps in a dragon's hoard, it absorbs the energy of the dragon's breath weapon and deals damage of that type with its special properties. Okay, so before we get into the actual mechanical abilities here, this whole thing kind of reminds me of the special item properties. I think it's called tables in the DMG under the like random items, which is great. I love using those. So it's nice to see that kind of like fleshed out here, I guess. Slumbering, uncommon. Whenever you roll a 20 on your attack roll with this weapon, each creature of your choice within 5 feet of the target takes 5 damage of the type dealt by the dragon's breath weapon. Stirring, rare. The stirring weapon has the slumbering property. In addition, you gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls using this weapon. On a hit, the weapon deals an extra 1d6 damage of the type dealt by the dragon's breath weapon. Wakened, very rare. The wakened weapon has the slumbering property and it improves on the stirring property. The bonus to attack and damage rolls increases to +2, and the extra damage dealt by the weapon increases to 2d6. As an action, you can unleash a 30-foot cone of destructive energy from the weapon. Each creature in that area must make a DC 16 dexterity saving throw, taking 8d6 damage of the type dealt by the dragon's breath weapon on a failed save, or half as much damage on the successful one. Once this action is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. Ascendant, legendary. The Ascendant weapon has the slumbering property and it improves on the stirring and wakened property. The bonus to attack and damage rolls increases to +3, and the extra damage dealt by the weapon increases to 3d6. The cone of destructive energy the weapon creates increases to a 60-foot cone. The save DC increases to 18, and the damage increases to 12d6. Very cool. I like that it keeps growing. It keeps improving on the properties, not just adding new properties while still also adding new stuff. That cone, I mean, that's pretty intense. That's great. And at the end of the day, if nothing else, it's a magic weapon. So like it's going to be nice. Okay, so that weapon again works for any kind of weapon. So it can be a hand crossbow or a great axe. I like that we've got our martial classes covered here. Now let's take a look at a spellcaster option. Dragon Touched Focus. Wondrous item, rarity varies, requires attunement by a spellcaster. This wondrous item can be a scepter, an orb, an amulet, a crystal, or another finely crafted object. It typically incorporates imagery of dragon's wings, claws, teeth, or scales. Slumbering, uncommon. You have advantage on initiative rolls. While you are holding the focus, it can function as a spellcasting focus for all your spells. Stirring, rare. The stirring focus has the slumbering property, and it gains an additional property determined by the family of the dragon in whose hoard it became stirring. Chromatic. Whenever you use a spell slot to cast a spell that deals acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage, Roll a d6 and you gain a bonus equal to the number rolled to one of the spell's damage rolls. Gem. Whenever you use a spell slot to cast a spell, you can immediately teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 15 feet of you. Metallic. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes a saving throw, you can use your reaction to give that creature advantage on the saving throw. Wakened. Very rare. The Wakened focus has the slumbering and stirring properties, and while you're holding a Wakened focus, you can use it to cast certain spells. Once the item is used to cast a given spell, it can't be used to cast that spell again until the next dawn. The spells are determined by the family of the dragon in whose hoard it became wakened. An asterisk indicates a new spell that appears earlier in this chapter. Chromatic. Hold monster. Rhymes binding ice. Gem. Rari's telepathic bond. Raoul's psychic lance. Metallic. Fizban's platinum shield. Legend lore. Ascendant. The Ascendant focus has the slumbering, stirring, and waken properties. In addition, when you cast a spell of first level or higher while holding this focus, you can treat the spell as if it were cast using a 9th level spell slot. Once this property is used, it can't be used again until next dawn. Really, really, really cool. I do wonder a little bit about the the dragon types. So I mean, a d6 of damage is cool, great, sure, but a free teleport is amazing. Giving somebody advantage on a saving throw is also incredible. I think that d6 might be a little weak there, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe I would have made it just like a d4 and it worked with cantrips too, so at least it's always on. But then how often are you using cantrips really at this kind of a level when you're getting stuff like this? But you could get this at early levels too for that part. I don't know. Very cool. I think the initiative advantage is nice, but it kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't really understand that, but I do love the extra spells. I think that's great. And that gives these spells availability for classes that aren't actually getting these spells. So that's nice. And that 9th level thing, that's wild. Throw a magic missile in there. No, that's great. A lot of spells have when you use a higher level spell slot, it might have like a longer duration or of course additional targets with something like a hold person kind of thing. But really where I think this is nice is the summoning spells, even this new summon Draconic spirit thing. When you cast it using higher levels, the summons become stronger. So that's probably, I guess, where I would look first to use this. Dragon Vessel, wondrous item, rarity varies, requires attunement. This vessel can be a potion bottle, drinking horn, or other container meant to hold a liquid. Slumbering, uncommon. As a bonus action, if the vessel is empty, you can speak the command word to fill the vessel with one of the following of your choice: ale, olive oil, a potion of healing, or a potion of climbing. Once this property is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. A potion you create in this way loses its magical properties if it isn't imbibed within 24 hours. Stirring, rare. In addition to the options for a slumbering vessel, you can fill a stirring vessel with mead, a potion of fire breath, or a potion of healing greater. Wakened, very rare. In addition to the other options for a slumbering or stirring vessel, you can fill a wakened vessel with wine, a potion of flying, or a potion of healing superior. Ascendant, legendary. In addition to the options for the other states, you can fill an ascendant vessel with whiskey, a potion of healing supreme, or a potion of dragon's majesty, described earlier in this chapter. Okay, so as soon as you unlock legendary with this, that's your draconic or dragon majesty. So you can turn into like a CR 17 dragon. like done. Like that's what you're gonna use this for. I really like mayonnaise. I think mayonnaise is delicious. You can put it on burgers and fries, and you can mix it with ketchup to make that kind of secret sauce stuff. I really wish mayonnaise was an option here. I think anytime a liquid thing is involved with a magic item, mayonnaise should be an option. I mean, really, if we made mayonnaise-based potions of healing, I think that would be great. Rather than having to chug the potion, you just reach in, scoop out a handful, and just blah, 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 that mayonnaise, that magic mayonnaise. Let me know in the comments how you feel about mayonnaise-based consumables. Scaled ornament. Wondrous item, rarity varies, requires attunement. This ornament can be jewelry, a cloak, or another wearable accessory. It appears to be fashioned from a dragon scale, tooth, or claw, or it incorporates images of those shapes. Slumbering uncommon. You have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid being charmed or frightened, or to end those conditions on you. Stirring rare. You gain +1 bonus to AC, and you can't be charmed or frightened. Moreover, each creature of your choice within 30 feet of you has advantage on saving throws it makes to avoid being charmed or frightened, or to end those conditions on itself. Wakened, very rare. The Wakened ornament has the stirring property. In addition, when you would take damage of the type dealt by the breath of the dragon in whose hoard the ornament became wakened, you can use your reaction to take no damage instead, and you regain hit points equal to the damage you would have taken. Once this property is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. Ascendant, legendary. The Ascendant ornament has the stirring and waken properties. In addition, while you are wearing the ornament, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and you can hover. While you are flying using this speed, spectral dragon wings appear on your back. Okay, that one is absurdly awesome. Immunity, the charm and frighten, and everybody within 30 feet of you gets advantage on that. And eventually you can just fly and hover, and not only just the damage, just the hit point swing on that when you absorb the damage, that's wild. If you use that on like a dragon's breath, right? And let's say not only do you not take like 50 points of damage, but you actually heal for like 50 points of damage. That can be so much. Such a major swing in the combat. Great. I think it's really fun, and that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, so Hoard magic items. I really like this concept. I think some of them are a little wonky in their power, maybe. But I think they're really a great option. Just the idea of it. I am very surprised that armor is not here. I am shocked that armor is not here. That seems weird to me that there's no armor option. But whatever. That's not the end of the world. That's really weird. Yeah, I just double checked it. I didn't miss it. I don't know why armor isn't here, but that's whatever. I could see homebrewing armor, obviously, or any item with this. And this whole mechanic is great. Especially, I think it'd be really neat to see a spell scroll kind of thing like that, where you can maybe just like any spell, like a lower level, you can scribe a spell on it, and then eventually you can just like add any spell that you know onto it, and it doesn't like burn it up, it doesn't destroy it, but it will take the charge. And then at one of the higher levels, it's any spell for any class, something like that. I don't know. Just I think this whole idea for this mechanic opens up a lot of possibilities, and I think it's really neat. Okay, so all of you, tell me please, why do you think there isn't armor in here? Why is there no armor option? I don't know. Okay, so thanks for watching. Check out the playlist, and if you're still here watching me ramble, I appreciate it. Stay tuned for more. Thanks. We'll see you in the next one.